This video is sponsored by
Amalena Children's Haven.
I am Matilda. I'm a nurse, and I have two lovely girls, a 2-year, 7-month-old, and an almost 5-month-old. With my first pregnancy, it was a shocker. Like, we weren't expecting it at all. I was still in school then. So I had missed my period, I think 5 days, and then my cycle is regular, it doesn't change. So when I missed it for 5 days, I was kind of shocked. I didn't know what to do. But prior to that, I had taken an emergency contraceptive, so I thought it was messing up with my cycle. So I decided to wait for a little while. So we had gone to Accra for some holidays then. So my husband said we should buy a test kit and then check. When we checked, it was 2 bold lines, but I still wasn't convinced. So I wanted to do a blood test when I get back to Kumasi. So when I did it, my HCG level was up the roof. Like, I was 6 weeks pregnant, yes. And with my second, we actually planned. We thought our girl needed a sibling, so we should start trying. So we started trying in August 2019. And then when we tried, the next month, September, I was pregnant. So we didn't try for long. It was just when we started trying, the following month, I was pregnant. Well, the attention you get, and then you get people to do anything for you, even when you don't ask them. And then the cakes, it was something. I really enjoyed it, yeah. And then the fact that you could eat any amount of food without someone seeing you having a big tummy or something of that sort, yeah. Well, my pregnancy journey was smooth for both of them. I don't vomit, I don't have morning sickness, I don't swell up. It's only my bump that shows I'm pregnant. So there was nothing I would say I didn't enjoy. I enjoyed everything about pregnancy. Just that for me, pregnancy takes too long, like 9 months. Like, it takes too long. That's what I don't like about it. A shadow. How I wish it was like 5 months. I was 34 weeks pregnant at the time, so I started losing lipo. So I talked to my Ghanaian, and then he said we should do an ultrasound. So I went to see the sonographer. We did the scan, and then the scan said it was adequate. The fluid was adequate, so there was no cause for alarm. So I took the scan to my Ghanaian, and then he said I should go home. When I still see the lipo again, I should report to him. So it was a Monday. So through that week, I didn't see anything again. But I woke up on a Sunday morning, and then I saw few drops of the lipo. It wasn't too much, but I wasn't bothered. And then I was feeling some slight cramps. It was very bearable because I had laundry to do. I did it. I prepared fufu. So around 12 p.m. that afternoon, it started getting intense. But then my husband had gone outside, so I was waiting for him. So he called me and was like, "Fufu na you ready?" I'm like, "What do you brafie?" So when he go home, he said why. I told him what I was feeling. So we timed the contractions, and then I realized it was 2 to 3 minutes apart. So I knew it could be labor, even though my time wasn't near. So I didn't want to accept that fact because 34 weeks pregnant. So I went to the hospital with my husband. We didn't take the bag. We went to see the midwife, and then she was sleeping. When I woke her up, she was like, I'm like, I'm not coming. He did the V, and then he said I was 3 cm dilated, and he gave me a bed and then asked that I sleep on my left side. So I did it, and then I wanted to pee all the time, like the pee was just coming. So I would just get up, go to the washroom and all that. So it was around 5 a.m. a Friday morning, and then I went to tell her to do the V again. Me, I just wanted my baby out. He said, "Matilda, like nalip means your first baby. So he prepared water for me to bath and then did an IV line for me. So I was pacing up and down. I was feeling very hot, but then they had a fresh baby there, so they couldn't on the fan for me. I was just going up and down, and then I felt like throwing up, so I went to throw up. After that, I intentionally told the midwife, the pain has become intense. I just intentionally told her. He was like, okay, let me check. When she checked, I was full. So all this while, she had not even set up the labor ward. Like, she thought I was a nalip, so it would take long for me to dilate. So he hadn't set up the place. So it was at the time that he was taking a staff and all that, rushing to the labor ward to prepare for me. So my husband had come home to bring my bag, and from here to the hospital is about 10 minutes drive. But then when my husband got back, I had delivered, just like that. So when he came, the midwife was like, Obano, just here the neonatal unit. Was like, nah, maybe no way. He was like, your wife had delivered. So he was shocked, and then she was tiny, like, I think she weighed lesser than 2.5. They went to put her under, I don't know, I think it's a temperature monitor or something. It was monitoring her temperature. But then she was healthy, just that her weight was low. So she was there, and then the doctor came to review her, and she said she would discharge us 2 days after. So the 2 days came, even though she was able to suck her, just that she was small. So she discharged us, and when we got home, my sister came over to help. And then my husband too was around, and there were days my mother too will come around and help. Even though it wasn't easy at all. Like, I would literally cry, look at my baby and cry. Like, she was so small, like holding her in your arms. But then we've come far by grace. She's very okay now. I'm a nurse. So I've seen such babies, but then I never thought that I would have one myself. So for some time, I would wake up at night. When feeding her, I would cry. But then after some time, I just got over it, so I was okay. With my first, like, it was love at first sight. I was so happy. I mean, a first time mom seeing my baby girl, like, with plenty hair and all that. I was very happy. Like, I was very happy. Even though at the time they were stitching me up, but I couldn't even feel it. I had an episiotomy, so they were stitching me up. But looking at my baby, I wasn't even concentrating on what the midwife was doing. So I was very happy. So in my second, she came earlier than we expected. She came when I was 34 weeks pregnant. So we weren't ready. I wasn't ready to meet her. So I had not psyched my mind, I'm going to have a baby now or something. So when I put to bed, she was just there. After they finished cleaning me up, I just went to see her, and she lay there very tiny. So I was thankful that through all I went through, like losing the amniotic fluid and all that, I still went through vaginal delivery, and then my baby was healthy, just that she was tiny. So I wasn't actually happy. Like, I was just thankful to God for bringing me this far. Yes, that was it. But as time went on, we bonded. Like, now we are best of friends. So in my first, I moved to my mom's place. So my sister was around, my mother was around, and my dad. So they were so helpful. And then she wouldn't sleep at night. So my mother would come for her, take her to her room, and then let me sleep small. So when she sleeps, she will bring her over to my place. So my sister would do the laundry, the dishes. So what I was doing was just feeding my baby, changing her diapers, and then eating. That was all I was doing. Like, they were pampering me and Kasa. But my second, due to some reasons, my mother wasn't around. So my sister came over here, and then she spent, I think, about 2 weeks here. So that was when reality set in. Like, I had to face reality, because it was only my husband and the kids. And my husband too travels a lot, like outside Kumasi, so it will be left with my kids and I. So I had to do everything. Like, the small one will be crying, this man also needs attention and all that. But then when my husband is around, he does his best. Just that they sleep there, he will sleep at night and leave the baby and I alone. Yes. So that's how we've been going through. It's just I and the babies. So for breastfeeding, my breast milk always comes the day after I put to bed. They apply shea butter on my breast, and I chew groundnuts too, and then they come. Both of them, they were able to latch properly, so I didn't have any sore nipple and all of that. But then the feeling that you are nourishing the little one is something, like, it's so beautiful. It's something no one can do for your baby. You're the only person who can do it for it. So I like breastfeeding. I didn't have any challenges. I didn't have anything at all. And then I was able to do exclusive for 4 months with my first. And with my second, she's almost 5 months. And then we just started giving her some cuckoo. Yes. Hey! Immunization. So I think the BCG, the one they give them after birth, that one, it wasn't painful. Like, they took it lightly. But the 6 weeks one day, hey, that one is something else. Like they had temperature, they will cry, they will be fussy and all that. But then the 10 weeks and then 14 weeks was okay. But with the 6th week one day, they didn't take it lightly at all. Like they will cry at night and all that. They want you to hold them through the night and all that. They wouldn't sleep. Adjustments, there are plenty, even with common bathing and then sleeping, like things you literally do when you were on your own. Now when I'm bathing, I don't know, unless they are sleeping, I just hurry up because the next minute you hear one crying, so you have to get out of the bathroom and then come and see them. So, and with the sleep, oh, how I loved my night sleep, Charlie. My husband can say, you can sleep, Papa, but now, I don't know, sleep is out of my dictionary. I can't sleep. You have to be waking up at night, feeding the baby and all that. But then I think God give us grace to go through, because I don't know, there are times you get drenched in the day, like get so tired, and then you go to bed. But the next morning, you still have the strength to function. So I think God gives us grace to function. Yes. Motherhood is not easy. Like I tell my friends, motherhood is no joke. And the fact that having a toddler and raising and having a newborn too, that one is no joke. Like it's no joke. But then, as I said, I think it's great because I don't know how I'm able to do it. Going through the day's activity, taking care of yourself, your family, your marriage, and then the kids, taking care of all of them. It's not easy. Even figuring out what to feed them with, how to comfort them when they are fussy and all that. But then we've been able to go through. So motherhood isn't easy, but then grace keeps us functioning, as I always said. There are times when I manage to put them to bed at night, I just sit down and then look at them and then I burst into laughter, like it's me like I could do this. You don't know how strong you are until the only option is to be strong. I've really surprised myself. I won't sacrifice my sleep for anything, but now I don't care. All that matters are the kids. So I've really surprised myself. When I see her putting into practice what I teach her, like I teach her to pray before she eats and then pray before she goes to bed. And immediately you put her on the bed, she just close her eyes and say, "Our Father." She says some words and say, "Amen." Looking at that, and then when she sees you in pain or something, just comes to you, "Mommy, are you okay?" and all that. It's very fulfilling. And then with my little one, the one who is almost 5 months old, when she smiles, it melts your heart. It's everything. Getting to know that your daughter knows you are the mother, like you are everything to her. Like she just sees you and then smiles. Like all your worries vanishes. I think recently, the little girl, the 2-year-old was crying, and then the 5-month-old was crying. When I was going to carry the smaller one, the big girl was like, you know. And then I said, "She's a baby. Let me take care of her." And then she got bored and then went to stand her somewhere till she became okay. So that one is not easy. There are days she would definitely need attention, but then you have to figure out how you will combine the two. Combining schooling with a pregnancy and then the toddler is something I still don't know how I was able to do it. You have to go for lectures. So she was going to a crèche, so I have to take her to the crèche and then go to school. I close around 3, get back, pick her, we come home. I was pregnant, so imagine, it wasn't easy. But then there were days I took her to my mother, and that was very okay. When I took her to my mother, it was just I and then my unborn baby. So my mother too has been super helpful. I would just take her there. I would just take her and then go and put her there and then have some me time. Yes. So it wasn't work, but it was school. Yes. Okay, so in my first, I wasn't standing there. The midwife just did it. But my second, as I said, they put her under some temperature monitor, so it was hot. So they didn't pierce her ear immediately. They said when we are being discharged, the lady will pierce the ear. So I went to call one nurse to pierce it for her. She looked at my baby and was like, "Hey, obey dear, as a bema." I'm like, "Who does that?" Her being tiny doesn't mean anything extra or something. She's just tiny. Once I feed her well, she will grow up and become bubbly and all that. So when I was standing there, she was piercing the ear. I don't know, her ear too was tiny. So she didn't know where to put the earring. So she didn't even do it well. When I got home, my grandmother did it again. Yes. And then, well, they say it's not painful, but then they cry when you pierce it. I would say language has been something for me. My husband speaks Ga, and then I speak Chi. So combining the Ga, Chi, English has been something. But for now, she's able to speak Chi and then English. But then I wish she could speak Ga with his daddy, but then I can't speak, so yes. So language has been a barrier for us. But then I don't know, as time goes on, maybe she will be able to adapt or learn. Yes. What I would say is they should take it one day at a time. When you need help, that's what I always say. When you need help, ask for help. Don't just say you want to do everything on your own. If you need help, ask for it. And also, when you are pregnant, you just find anything that crosses your mind, just ask your gynae. Just ask questions, anything you don't understand, because it can lead to something else. As I said, I had a preemie baby. Till days, I still can't figure it out how it happened, but then it happened. So once you are pregnant, everything that happens to you matters. You should let your gynae or your midwife know, so that it doesn't bring any misfortune or any mishappening.
This video was brought to you by
Amalena Children's Haven.